Don't look now, guys, but that dark silhouette that's been following you around your whole life may not be as innocent as it seems. Enter the Shadow, an underutilized undead creature that will haunt your footsteps and literally drain the strength from your bones. This stealthy killer is just waiting for the perfect opportunity to feed off your life force and add yet another darkened corner to the hallways it roams. Hey, what's up guys? It's Evan here from D4 Dungeon, and I'd like to welcome you all to another video. If this is your first time here, and you want to learn how to level up your D&D experience, then start now by hitting that subscribe button so that you don't miss a thing. Alright, so everybody knows what a shadow is. But the Monster Manual has a little bit of a different explanation for them. Shadows are undead that resemble dark exaggerations of humanoid shadows. From the darkness, these entities will reach out to feed on living creatures' vitality. They can consume any living creature, but are especially drawn to creatures who are untainted by evil. A creature that lives a life of goodness and piety consigns its bestial impulses and strongest temptations to the darkness, where the shadows hunger. As a shadow drains its victim's strength and its physical form, the victim's shadow darkens and begins to move on its own volition. In death, the creature's shadow breaks free, becoming a new undead, hungry for more life to consume. If a creature from which a shadow has been birthed somehow returns to life, this undead shadow senses the return and may seek out the parent to vex or potentially slay. However, whether the shadow pursues its living counterpart or not, the creature that birthed the shadow will no longer cast one until this monster is destroyed. There are a ton of advantages to the shadow, most of which I feel are overlooked due to this creature's half CR challenge rating. The first off is its undead nature, which all undead have, meaning a shadow doesn't require air, food, drink, or sleep. The shadow has a stealth skill of +4 or +6 in dim light or darkness. Its damage resistances are crazy. Acid, fire, lightning, thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical weapons, and it's completely immune to necrotic and poison damage. This creature also has a ton of condition immunities. It's immune to exhaustion, frightened, grappled, paralyzation, petrification, poison, prone, and being restrained. It also has dark vision out to 60 feet and an amorphous shape, which means that the shadow can move through a space as narrow as 1 inch wide without having to squeeze. The last major advantage of the shadow is its shadow stealth ability, which means that while it's in dim light or darkness, the shadow can take the hide action as a bonus action on its turn. There really aren't a ton of disadvantages to this half CR creature. It does, however, have vulnerability to radiant damage. It also has something called sunlight weakness, which means that while in direct sunlight, the shadow has disadvantages on all attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. Stealth is what's going to sum up combat and tactics for a shadow. Its stealth proficiency and shadow stealth feature are what are going to dictate how the shadow attacks. Upon first spotting its target, it's going to use its movement and then its bonus action to approach while hidden. It will move to within reach of the target, and if the hide action was successful, it will attack on the same round with advantage using its strength drain attack. If the hide fails, it'll keep moving, trying again next round. It's a shadow. Even if the PC see it, you can literally just say, "You see a shadow," and they may be none the wiser. Once the shadow attacks successfully, it no longer has the ability to hide until it moves out of view. Once the element of surprise has been lost, it will keep on draining the PC's strength, even though slipping away for another surprise attack may seem like the technically more efficient move. Really, the only thing that has the power to make a shadow think twice about what it's doing is radiant damage, being struck by a magical weapon, or being hit by a cleric or paladin's channel divinity turn undead feature. If one of these is used against it, it will disengage as an action, move out of view, hide as a bonus action, and then wait for its victim to come within striking distance again. The strength drain ability is brutal, and not because of the actual damage it does, but because of the 1d4 it reduces the target's strength by each time it hits. These ability points are gone and will affect your player character's attack, damage roll, ability to use certain weapons and armor until that player completes a short or long rest. Also, if the player's strength is reduced to 0, he or she dies. No death saves, dead. To sum a shadow up, we have a creature whose touch is painful and chilly. They hide in the lightless depths of dungeons and caverns, waiting to sink their inky claws into whichever player character is unfortunate enough to stumble into their path, draining them of the very strength and will to live. Being partial to a victim whose essence exudes virtue and goodness, they'll be drawn to these players first, using their stealth proficiencies and shadow stealth feature to gain the upper hand in a fight, hopefully reducing the player character's strength score to 0, killing them outright. For a half CR creature, the shadow packs a real punch, and its advantages far outweigh its disadvantages. Played right, this creature will have your player characters stabbing at every shift of shadow they see for the next 19 levels. I hope you guys were able to learn something today about shadows, and maybe about how to run an exciting shadow-based encounter for both you and your player characters. Don't forget, if you want to learn more about playing Dungeons & Dragons or other D&D related stuff, then hit that subscribe icon so that you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next Monster Monday.